Hello, and thanks for watching Focus, a show that focuses on community, unity, and service. I'm Chris Giard. Our next featured organization is Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. Their initiatives help support nonprofits, scholarships, and grant programs in the greater Hartford area. My guest is Jay Williams, the president and CEO of the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. Jay, welcome to the show.
It's great to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. So let's start off by telling the audience a little bit of the background information on your organization and its role in the community.
Absolutely. So the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving is a nonprofit organization. We are a philanthropic community foundation, meaning that individuals can make donations. We invest those donations and ultimately give grants out along with a whole host of other things to nonprofit organizations across our territory, which is the 29 of the towns in central Connecticut. So we're based in Hartford, but we serve 28 other towns. We've been doing this for now 99 years. We exist because of the generosity of individuals across those regions, and it allows us to support nonprofit organizations across those very same regions.
So you must have a really big Rolodex of donors that you know very well.
We do. And we are ever grateful for those donors, those who have been with us for decades, families, individuals, organizations, some corporate organizations, and those who have recently been added to the really great body of folks who support their community through their philanthropic efforts through the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. Yes.
So with all that money, how do you guys decide to do your grant making?
It's a great question. Our grant making is informed by our relationships and engagement with our partners on the community, with residents. We are a learning organization that is very much data informed. We have a board of directors who helps guide and bring a fiduciary vision for the Hartford Foundation. And really, we're committed to our mission. And that mission is about bringing philanthropy to action to really help improve the quality of life across the 29 towns. But that mission also is animated by our strategic focus. And that strategic focus is informed, like I said, by the data that talks about the quality of life and living in Hartford, the greater Hartford region, that we get from our partners. And over the past several years, that has really been focused on increasing equity and opportunity, social and economic mobility, to help dismantle some of the structural systems, some of the things that have plagued this community for a very long time. And that's where we focused our efforts and our energies. And we've been very pleased with how excited and engaged our partners have been in helping us to do that.
So out of all those 29 towns, what kind of organizations do you typically support?
It's a great question. There are a wide array of organizations that we support, organizations that are involved in helping to facilitate and meet the basic human needs that we have: food, shelter, the medical, both physical and emotional well-being of residents. Housing is one of our strategic initiatives that we're really focusing on, increasing opportunities for housing both in Hartford and outside of Hartford, quality, affordable housing. Arts and culture has been a long-standing targeted area of the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, and we're looking to increase, again, opportunities for our communities of color to be involved in those leadership opportunities within arts and cultural organizations. We support art organizations that help civic engagement, or civic and resident engagement, those organizations that are helping individuals become more civic-minded and active in their community, to raise their voice and ensure that the things that they think are important for civic life and living are met. And the other thing that is our fifth focus really involves in employment and educational opportunities, helping entrepreneurs and individuals who are moving along their educational spectrum. So just in those five categories, as you can imagine, there are hundreds and hundreds of nonprofits. We can't support every one of the nonprofits, but in addition to our grant making, we do capacity building and helping those nonprofits become stronger, more impactful, more efficient. We do public policy, we do convening. So through those partnerships, they really bring to life the focus and the priorities that we just talked about.
On average, how many applications for grants, people apply every year? I mean, it sounds like you have to have a really, staff that's on top of things here? I mean, is there a high volume that comes in every year?
Absolutely. There are always more requests for resources than we have available. We get dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of inquiries and applications. Some of those happen on a rolling basis. There are periods where we will put out an RFP and request proposals that meet a certain strategic priority that we've identified. We try to be as accessible as we can to organizations all throughout the year. And to your point, we have an exceptionally talented and skilled and committed staff who oversee that process. We use technology to try to make it more efficient. And at the end of the day, we make sure that we're not only doing that from our offices, but making sure that we are, as a community foundation, out in the communities, engaging and talking with those organizations who are out on the front lines doing those things. So it makes for a pretty busy process, but the staff deserves all the credit in the world for helping us get through it.
You mentioned technology, and I think, a lot of organizations during the pandemic had to kind of shift, and how did you guys embrace tech during that time, and what have you still kept since then going forward today?
Questions. It was an immediate shift, an abrupt shift that we all underwent, and we are grateful for the technology that allowed us to continue supporting and helping those nonprofit organizations that were in the midst of the pandemic, did not have the option to work from home. They were out serving individuals in a very hands-on way. So we had already been investing in our technological platforms. We accelerated that allowed us to stay connected to one another within the organization. And then again, more importantly, or equally importantly, is being connected to those nonprofits to make sure that the financial resources that they needed were still able to be delivered. We certainly use platforms like Zoom and WebEx and things like that. But what it also forced us to do, we had a 2-year plan to reduce some of our processes, be more efficient. That 2-year plan really had to turn into like a 60-day plan. So some of the bureaucracy that we had internally that we were wrestling with, we had to say, this has to go. We had to be more informed in terms of delegating some additional opportunities and authorities within the organization. The board was very supportive of that. So we actually emerged from the pandemic as a leaner, more efficient, more impactful organization with greater ability to reach out and touch the community as a direct result of that. So when we returned, what we did keep were some of those efficiencies. It provided us greater flexibility to both use these technological platforms, but also to remind ourselves of the importance of being out of the offices in the communities, in the nonprofits, in the neighborhoods across those 29 towns. So it's really been an ongoing evolution, but it was something that accelerated plans that we had, but also allowed us to say, what, we've got to be more efficient. We got to be responsive and nimble. And that's exactly what happened.
Speaking of those 29 towns, I know you guys have the Greater Together Community Funds. Can you discuss a little bit about that, please?
Absolutely. We are so excited. That program was launched about 4 years ago now. And what it represents is participatory grant making, to me, in its finest sense. And when I say participatory grant making, the grants that we talked about a few minutes ago, those grants are analyzed and evaluated, and decisions are made by the Hartford Foundation, either the staff and or the board, depending on the nature of the grant. The 29 towns, each of them having a Greater Together Community Fund, those grant decisions are made by a group of volunteers in each of those 29 towns. The decisions aren't made at the Hartford Foundation. They're not made by the staff. They're not made by the board. So we partnered with and helped to train 290 individuals, volunteers, so 10 in each of the 29 towns, who really reflect the diversity and the fabric of each of those towns, trained them over the course of several months to make grants to organizations in their town. So we provide the financial resources, they make the grant decisions. So it's really been a gratifying and exciting opportunity to really anchor ourselves in each of those 29 towns. Through a listening tour that we were doing, it became clear that as much knowledge as we have and as much learning as we do, we will never know the intimacies of those towns like the people who live, work, and play there, who have businesses there, investments there. So the light bulb went off through discussions with these volunteers in these towns. Wouldn't it be great if they had a pool of resources to make their own grants, to do the things that are going to be important to those specific towns. So it's been a resounding success. We're excited about it, and just thrilled that it really helped to expand and deepen our relationship with those towns.
We've got about a minute and a half left, and I know you mentioned those 290 volunteers. We here at Focus are champions for volunteerism. What is the best way that people can get in touch and get involved in the Hartford Foundation?
Question. So I'm old school. My staff's gonna laugh at me. So our website is the easiest. That's the one that's easiest for me to remember. hfpg.org. hfpg.org. There clearly are. We have social media handles. So whether it's LinkedIn or Twitter or all the other social media things, but if you go to our website, all those other social media handles will be there, and you will find a wealth of information. You will find opportunities to connect with us. Volunteer opportunities. So would certainly welcome people to go to the website and then find the paths that might be most interesting to them.
And lastly, Jake, why did you get involved, and what does this work mean to you?
Got involved because I'm passionate about our communities and helping to improve those communities through a variety of ways, to increase opportunities where there haven't been, to see the potential in overlooked, underinvested in communities. And there are just so many people within this organization, so many people within this community that share that passion. So to be able to engage in that as a part of my professional career, with colleagues that I admire and respect, with volunteers and donors without whom we would not exist, just really is a joy to do day in and day out.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Jay Williams is the president and CEO of the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. Jay, thank you so much for all the great work you do for our communities, and thank you for being a guest on Focus.
Thanks for the platform. Thanks for what you do also, Chris. It's been a pleasure.
Connection. It's the heart of what we do. It's why we work to better the communities where we live and work. It's why we're expanding to get people connected and create digital equity programs that support affordable internet and digital literacy. We're leaders for positive change. From the way we empower our people, clients, and communities to the way we care for our planet. We live our values every day. We're Cox Communications, and we're pleased to connect with you.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hello, welcome to Focus, a show that focuses on community, unity, and service. I'm your host, Marc, and on tonight's show we have the Enfield Culture and Arts Commission. I have a couple of the folks from that group here tonight. They're going to talk to us about that and a lot more of other stuff they got going on. Emily Clifford back for another segment.
It's great to be here again.
You're like a president of everything. So
I have a big head. It can fit a lot of hats.
President of the organization. We also have Nzima, who is the commissioner.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So we'll start with you, Emily. Tell us a little about the Enfield Culture and Arts Commission and what it does and what you guys do.
So Enfield Culture and Arts is an all-volunteer group of Enfield residents, and we're appointed by the town council, and our mission is to promote and support artists, performers, cultural events, and themes around town to make these things accessible to all residents. And there's lots of different ways that can take form. And right now we have a really, really, really great team. We just filled our last vacant spot last town council meeting. And so now we've got like a full a full team where we're going to be able to continue with the program we've started and projects that we've had success with, and then on to lots of different things in the future.
That's awesome. So tell me about how you got involved in this organization.
So I think I started browsing vacancies for the town boards and commissions. I just wanted a way to get involved, and at that time I was also looking for ways to plug in Enfield Community Chorus into like a larger Enfield network of arts and culture. And so when I saw a vacancy on it, I was like very interested. I went to a meeting. The team there was really, really nice and welcoming. And I started, and then after a while, I was able to take on a larger leadership position in that commission.
That's great. So, Nzima, tell us about how you got involved in being a part of this, because not only are you the commissioner of this, I hear you're also our town poet laureate as well.
Yes, I am.
I didn't even know we had a poet laureate, so that's amazing. So tell us about how you got involved in the commission.
So I got involved. I wanted to be a part of anything that, well, not anything, but I wanted to be a part of a board that support the culture and arts in a multifaceted way. If it was a financial way or, support as we are supportive, we show up. I wanted to be a part of the decision making, to know what's going on in the arts and culture in our town.
So in being the poet laureate, it kind of correlates with being in the Culture and Arts Commission.
Oh yes,
so
yes, very much.
Tell us about kind of on this, like how did that come about? How did you become the Enfield Poet Laureate?
Well, there was an application process.
Oh, okay.
And I was really nervous, and I had to brave my space and gather myself. I applied. There was a criteria. I submitted samples of my work, and I filled in blanks of my community service, talked about building community, and just, it was an application process, and everybody had opportunity to submit, and it was voted on, and here I am.
Wow.
So.
And you're on the commission too, so now you're like doubly involved in everything going on in the
So
town for
much
the arts and culture. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Poet Laureate program is an initiative of the Arts and Culture Commission. And so basically, Nzima's our second Enfield Poet Laureate. And it's a program that we rolled out so that people are able to recognize the power and creativity of poetry, and to have somebody like appointed in that role who's going to do programming to make it more accessible to everyone in the community. It has been a really, really powerful program.
And it's not only the program you guys have going on. I know you guys have, because I've gotten the community calendar for it, and people have probably heard it in town, the concert series during the summertime. What other stuff do you guys have going on? The concert series is almost ending for the summer, but
Yes.
What other things you guys got coming up, or other programs that people might be able to be involved in?
So I guess I will start by saying that we have open mic night,
Yes.
the first Wednesday of every month, and that is at the Enfield Library on Middle Road. And that's a great place for people who want to get some experience performing in front of a really, really welcoming and encouraging crowd. And we also are happy sponsors of Family Fun Day, which is coming up, Family Day in September 17th. And we are working with building connections within the Enfield Public Schools. Poetry Out Loud
Yes.
was a really, really great event where we were able, Nzima got to be a judge
Yes.
for Enfield middle school and high school students who were doing poetry recitations. And so that was really great. But along with our more seasonal activities, we also have a mini grant program. So if an individual or an organization has a project, an idea that they need some funding and support for, people are able to apply for a $500 mini grant that can help promote poetry, art, music, performance, anything like that for Enfield.
So how would people go about applying for that? Do they just go right to the town website? or
Yeah,
where do
it's
they go?
actually, we're really working on making our town page on the town website like very robust. So if you search Enfield Culture and Arts Commission, you'll land on our page, and you'll see the mini grant application as a link that you can click on. And if you would rather go in person, you could go to the library and get one there, because our staff liaison is Jason Neely, library director.
Okay, awesome. So, like Emily mentioned, that you had the poetry contest in the high school or one of the schools. Are there any other programs that you're wanting to work on for writing in school and with the students and such?
Yes, I would love to do a community-wide anthology, and I would love for the students to participate. Right now, I have a community arts fusion project happening September 11th at the Middle Road Library. It is ekphrastic poetry and paint night where it's free and open to the public. Well, it's limited space, so you have to register, but it is a way for people to come out and enjoy poetry and paint and express themselves and communicate in the way that they are able. So it's real inclusive. So I would love to do a lot of projects. We talked about the band show. We talked about the band show earlier as far as, having a band night. Well, I would love to open that space up for poetry in the fall. And so I have a lot of different things in the works. And yes, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I have this energy that's unbelievable, and I'm here for it. So everybody have to get ready.
So if folks are looking to possibly join the commission, how would they go about looking up that same location on the website? Or
It's always great to see what's available, what are the available vacancies on town commissions and boards. If right now our commission is full, however, we are always in search of volunteers, and if you are interested in getting a behind-the-scenes look at like concerts at the band shell, or different town events, or if you're interested in helping us create events for artists, performers, musicians, it's a great way to get involved. Just because, arts and culture, it's such a broad landscape, and so we are trying to build a database of artists and performers, and you can access that through our town webpage, but also just people who want to be supportive and just like patron of the arts. We really try to connect with all different town organizations and artists and performers, and so if you're interested, it's a really great way to get involved in a huge variety of projects that we do.
Yes.
so, go ahead.
I was going to say, and since I've been part of the board, I love watching people who have beautiful ideas. We have such visionaries here at Enfield. A lot of people will walk in those doors and say, I have an idea, and they will paint a beautiful picture for you, and you would sit there like, oh my gosh. And, so you have opportunity to express some desires, some needs around culture and art. And we're there to listen for some of the ideas, they're looking to propose for, either if it's for a grant or just to mention this is something that they thought would be needed. And so, people.
And I'm really glad you brought that up, because you're so right. We can't always wave a magic wand and make all of their dreams and ideas come true. But part of what we can do is connect them and link them with what's available, and give them something that we can try to support on some level. So if you have an idea for culture and arts, or you see a need in Enfield, you're welcome to email us and come to one of our meetings as a special guest and share what you see a need is. And we're there to listen and to try to make whatever part of that dream happen that we can.
So if someone wants to do that, you want to give us that email address?
Sure.
That they can...
So the email address is, and I'm sure if you search for Enfield Culture and Arts,
we'll put it on the screen too. It'll be on the screen
you'll be able to find it, but it's ecac.contact@gmail.com.
All right, so do that.
Yeah.
To get that information. So you mentioned the summer concert series, as we talked about, is almost ending. So I know from TV stuff, as soon as one ends, you start working on the next one. Are you guys already starting to plan next summer out, getting your bands together?
Well, bands are knocking on our door, actually.
Yes.
There you go. That's what I was kind of getting at. Like, is there a way you guys can? Is there
So by using that same email address, bands have been contacting the town manager's office and our email address, and it is a hopping venue.
Yeah.
So we were able to be a part of the summer concert series, which, if you were able to attend, was just very, very well received. people coming out to see live music, meeting up with their friends, and right there behind the town hall, it's just a beautiful setting. So now with the bandshell as a venue, I mean, we could have poetry there. We could do a fall jazz series potentially in the future. We have one more concert next Tuesday, which is the last Tuesday of August, and there has been some talk of programming in the fall. So you should definitely stay tuned, especially on Facebook, to get a lot of updates. But the bandshell is going to be more than the summer concert series. It's definitely going to be a very popular venue for a lot of programming. So if you have a band, if you are a performer, and you're interested in being one of the earliest acts in our bandshell, you should definitely drop us a line at ecac.contact@gmail.com.
Yeah, and I definitely think we could do a poetry
Oh yes,
show.
a nice
There's
poetry
this
series.
nice big studio here.
Oh yes, I will.
It's
And the
available.
studios will be great.
So we'll definitely be talking afterwards.
Okay, definitely.
So time to wrap up. Again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for
if anyone
having
wants
us.
to get more information
Thank you.
about the Enfield Culture and Arts Commission, we'll have the information at the very end of the segment. And we'll see you all here next time on Focus.